Hey y'all! Pokemon Crystal using only baby Pokemon really rocked the cradle, but this week will have me begging for the sweet release of death. So in the spirit of Friday the 13th, I'm going to do the scariest thing imaginable by trying to beat Pokemon Red using only one Weedle. As usual, the rules are we can only use one Weedle in battle, and we can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of these videos on my channel. So right off the bat, I'll state the obvious. This is a terrible idea. Weedle is hands down one of the worst Pokemon you could try to use for a solo challenge run in this game. I can only think of two that might be worse, both Caterpie and Magikarp, but then again, I'm not a smart man. Weedle is a poison and bug type Pokemon, which is both offensively and defensively probably the worst type in the game. Especially with all the psychic types running around, which hit us for super effective damage, and the plethora of poison Pokemon that Team Rocket uses, which will resist our one and only attack. Oh yeah, that's right, did I mention that yet? Yay. Weedle gets one attack, Poison Sting. It's one of the weakest, and arguably one of the worst moves in the game. And also, yeah, it gets String Shot, which lowers the opponent's speed, but that's basically useless. Also, the stats are terrible. So we're going to take a ton of damage while doing very little in return. And you know it's bad when your strongest move is actually Struggle, which is not even really supposed to be a move. And that's also what this run will literally be, a struggle. Let's just get this over with. Off at Professor Oak's lab, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Bulbasaur with Weedle so that a rival will pick Charmander. By the end of the run, the rival will have a Charizard, which not only will know the super effective move Fire Blast, but can also stun lock us with the super effective move Fire Spin, making this easily the hardest version of the rival to face. I can already tell we're going to spend most of the run struggling, both figuratively and using the move of the same name, so I nickname our Weedle Struggle Bug. Like I said before, Weedle only learns Poison Sting and String Shot, or as I like to call it, the String and Sting, which is not the name of a lingerie line for bees. Our defense and HP are so bad that Weedle takes a lot of damage from Charmander's Scratch Attack, leading to several resets. And why am I resetting this rival battle with Bubs when you don't actually need to win it to advance through the game? Well, we're going to need all the experience and money that we can get for what's coming next, and those are both pretty hard to come by early in the game, so I don't want to compound the issue further. By the time I made it to Pewter City, Weedle was only level 9, which is not even close enough to beat Brock's Rocks. In fact, even at level 15, we can't knock out the junior trainer's Diglett. And this is technically an optional battle, but again, money and experience. Plus, if I can't beat Diglett and Sandshrew, which don't resist Poison Sting, then I'm not even going to come close to beating Brock when his two Pokemon do resist. So, I think it's time to level up. Not much else available. It's what Hive got to do. So after 10 excruciating levels, Weedle is finally able to beat the junior trainer. And this is the trainer, by the way, that sheepishly corrects himself for using light years as a unit of time when it's actually a unit of distance. And why am I telling you this? Because I had to read his stupid intro speech, I don't know, like 100 times, and I just wanted everyone else to learn a little something. And even at this level, we're barely doing any damage, and his Pokemon spam Sand Attack to make us miss and therefore do even less damage. Fun, I know. Getting a poison on the Sandshrew is particularly important since it damages Sandshrew every turn even when we do miss our attacks. So as long as we can hang on for long enough, we win this battle. Although Weedle often looks like it's close to fainting, you know, like someone doing intermittent fasting. Come on buddy, eat a piece of bread or something, won't you Weedle? What? Are you on the mosquito-genic diet? Well, great. That was the easy part of the gym. And now it's time for the tough part. At level 26, I take on Brock, but, yeah. This is just not gonna happen at this level. And even on this, the best of our attempts, I couldn't get past the Geodude. Poison Sting just doesn't do enough damage, and even poisoning won't help much because Brock has 5 full heals for each of his Pokemon. So, good luck getting Weedle to survive long enough to poison Geodude 6 times. Sadly, I have to level up again, and I'm not quite sure why I thought I even had a chance at this level. After all, I literally just explained how I barely won against the junior trainer when his Pokemon don't resist and Brock's Pokemon do. I don't know, chalk it up to short-term memory loss? That's right, we're back, and this time at level 40. Before the first gym? Why? Why am I doing this? Oh, somebody please placate my suffering. Yeah, I'm pretty sure leveling Weedle up to 40 before the first gym takes longer than some Pokemon took to beat the whole game, and for what? Why am I doing this? Oh, for your amusement. Well, it sure as shiplap isn't for my amusement, because nothing about this is fun. I'm not even past the first gym, and I already don't want to do this anymore. And this isn't even the hardest battle in the game for Weedle, by the way, so stay tuned for that little basket of cherries. For now, this took way longer than I care to admit, and basically, we gotta get past the Geodude without having taken much damage, which is a tall order, and then we need to get really good luck with Bide against Onix. And considering it's going to take dozens of turns to do enough damage with Poison Sting to knock out this behemoth, there's a high probability of getting hit with at least 3 screeches, which will reduce our already terrible defense to 1/4 of its normal value. This will make Onix's tackles do so much damage, and we just can't afford to take that much damage, so we really need Brock to use Bide as much as possible. We can use String Shot to stall it out and prevent us from taking the blowback damage, which we're able to do for a long time, because String Shot actually has a lot of PP. This does take a ton of time, but every Bide that Brock uses is essentially a free hit against the Onix, so I guess it's a good thing, and I'll take what I can get. Turns out, though, this actually takes so long, in fact, that we run out of PP and end up finishing off Onix with Struggle, which actually did okay damage. And if you're wondering why do I not just do that from the start, well, the recoil damage would have taken us out before we ever got the chance to win. So, in summation, if this is how hard the rest of the challenge is gonna be, and we've only gotten to the first badge, I wonder if it's time to give up now and save myself the trouble. Nah, I ain't scared. After all, I ain't no metamorphosissy. After traversing Mount Moon, I make it to Vermilion City and take on the rival Bubs. And while this isn't nearly as annoying as Brock, his Pidgeotto is still particularly pernicious. It spams Sand Attack to lower our accuracy, which is very frustrating. However, this does have the slight benefit of raising our attack stat. And why is that? Well, say with me for those that are familiar, there's something in this game called the Badge Boost glitch, wherein every time your stats are modified in battle, the boosts given by your badges are reapplied. So, having our accuracy lowered boosts our attack because of the Boulder badge, which is nice because we don't really have much attack to begin with. And after Pidgeotto goes down, the rest of Bubs' Pokemon aren't much of a threat, simply due to the sheer difference in our levels. Oh, but don't worry, because that slight advantage will evaporate all but momentarily. There are way more details, by the way, about the Badge Boost glitch that I don't want to bore you with. And if you've watched these videos before, then I trust that you get the entomologist of how it works. With Bubs defeated, I head to take on Misty at the Vermilion City gym. And yeah, this one's tough too. And I had to try this battle so many times, repeatedly resetting. But believe me when I say that I'm more willing at this point to spend time resetting than to spend time trying to level up. Good lord, this challenge is awful. And you can see that even at level 42, and after dozens of resets, Weedle only barely manages to eke out a win, and even then with decent luck. We got good poison luck, and the fact that Misty went for water guns rather than spamming Bubble Beam with Starmie allowed us to hang on with just the teeny tiniest little sliver of health. I am a little annoyed that I'm already such a high level, with only 2 badges into the game. But then again, I already know I'll need to be level 100 before this video is over, so let's just think of this early leveling as infesting in our bug's future. After sustaining salty scars from Misty Starfish, we hop aboard the SSN to take on the rival Bubs once again. Normally, this is where we get the TM for Body Slam and teach it to most Pokemon, since it's widely learnable and also an incredible move in this game. But Weedle can't learn any TMs. It's okay though, I'm not mad, just disappointed. After knocking out Pidgeotto, Weedle is level 45, but even at over double the level of Bubs' Pokemon, this battle is just barely possible. You can see we need as much health as possible to withstand his Charmeleon super effective Embers, which took Weedle down during many an attempt. But this time, we managed to win. And I know some of you might prefer that I show more of the failed attempts with Weedle, but personally, I don't want to upload approximately 12.5 hour long video. Besides, it's my challenge, my video, so I'm not just gonna cicada to everyone's whims. Now that we can use Cut outside of battle, it's time to take on Lieutenant Surge at the Vermilion City gym, and for once, Weedle actually had an easy battle. In fact, Weedle won it on the very first attempt. And honestly, I think that's more of a commentary on Lieutenant Surge's abilities than Weedle's. But hey, no need to be nasty. Voltorb Sonic Boom does a lot of damage, but Pikachu, it's not much trouble. Raichu is his last Pokemon, and I expected this to be much worse than it was. Surge keeps lowering our attack with Growl, which is bad, but he keeps wasting turns using X-Speeds, which is good. Surge ends up wasting so much time, in fact, that we eventually get a critical hit Poison Sting to win the battle. Beating the Lieutenant went surprisingly well, for a mission that I fully expected to fail. I guess you never know the outcome of these kinds of bee sting operations. Alright, what's next? Oh yeah, ultimate pain and suffering. That's what awaits us in Rock Tunnel, which is a very dark and dangerous place that I normally don't even mention. You know, like that one Facebook page that your grandma won't stop posting on. Today though, I've got to mention it, because holy crow, I spent so much time in this place. The very first trainer in the tunnel is an absolute brick wall. He leads off with a Cubone, which takes little damage from Poison Sting, does a good amount of damage with Bone Club, and it keeps lowering our attack stat with Growl. This wouldn't be so bad though if the follow-up Pokemon wasn't this stupid Slowpoke. It knows Confusion and we can barely even damage it, but it can smash us for all of our health, which is great. It's great. Not sure how I'm gonna ear wiggle my way out of this predicament. Oh wait, I know! Here comes the Struggle Bug! I clear out some additional trainers for levels and money, and now at level 50, I try the Pokemaniac once again, using Struggle. And we have just enough health at this level to hang on from using Struggle while taking a few of their attacks. It doesn't help when Cubone lowers our attack stat with Growl, but it does help when we land a critical hit against this dude's Slowpoke. And look, I know for some people winning off of crits bugs you. Spray tell! What would you have me do exactly? But, even though we've made it past that nightmare, we're not out of Rock Tunnel just yet. Oh no, sweet summer child. We've got to get past a mandatory hiker that's got 2 Geodudes and a Graveler. All 3 know self-destruct, and even our strongest move Struggle isn't that helpful, since we end up damaging ourselves in the process. But honestly, the best strategy here is to count on the hiker knocking out his own Pokemon using self-destruct, but that's hard to do while also surviving the damage to win the battle. I think it's actually optimal to knock out one of the Geodudes first before it self-destructs, and then hope that the other 2 Pokemon boom as quickly as possible. It's a risky strategy, but then again, I'm a daredevil. Call me Bo-Weevil Knievel. Still, this is easier said than done. I kept trying over and over, but to no avail. Haha, no avail. It wasn't until I leveled Weedle up to 55 that I was finally able to win this battle. Yay, more leveling, my favorite. And don't forget too, that his Pokemon can also use Rock Throw, which hits for super effective damage. And it's not until many resets that we get good enough self-destruct luck to survive the Graveler's self-destruct with just 2 HP. And I can't tell you just how happy I am to be done with this absolute garbage. Just goes to show y'all that sometimes my strategies are crazy, but they seem to work out most of the time. After making it past Rock Tunnel by the skin of our Weedle, I arrive in Lavender Town to take on the rival Bubs in the Pokemon Tower. I was hoping that with us being at level 55, this battle would be easy, but it's not. It's not. He has almost a full team of Pokemon, and several of them are very strong. His Pidgeotto and Execute, oh well, they're not that bad. And even when he puts us to sleep with hypnosis, it doesn't do that much damage with barrage. His Gyarados, however, hits hard with Dragon Rage and Hydro Pump. His Kadabra can smash us with super effective Confusion, and his last Pokemon, Charmeleon, well, it still knows Ember, but Ember is Ember. And sadly, this was the closest I've gotten thus far after many tries, and I still came up pretty short. I think it's time to move on for now. Our little bug can't win, so we'll have to flee the scene. This challenge is turning into a circus. I've given up on Bubs for now, so let's do a battle that should actually be pretty easy. I head to the Celadon City Gym to take on Erica, the Grass Gym Leader. Why do I think it's easy? Well, Weedle double resists grass moves, and Poison Sting is actually super effective against grass types. I mean, Erica does have 2 grass poison types, which makes Poison Sting neutral, but whatever, don't worry about it. The point is, she can't do much to us. Except, oh yeah, she can stun lock us with Wrap and Bind. Oh man, these moves are so annoying. They're not very strong, but they stun lock us for multiple turns, meaning we go multiple turns without being able to attack. So many turns, in fact, that by the time we actually finish the battle, we've got barely any health left over. Yeah, and this was supposed to be the easy battle. The battle takes so long, in fact, that my mind starts to wander, and by the time Erica pops onto the screen again to give us the badge, I'm daydreaming about what Weedle would look like in her kimono. Or rather, a bee louse? After beating Erica, I head to the game corner to take on Giovanni in the Team Rocket hideout. Before I can get into Giovanni's room, however, I have to beat the 2 rocket grunts just outside the door. And this is actually, well, difficult, since all 3 of his Pokemon resist Poison Sting, and his Arbok also knows Wrap. Yeah, and yet another battle where we just can't win. Oh my gourd. Truly terrible stuff. I hate it. I hate it. I'm sick of this garbage. I just want one battle where I don't have to grind or reset a bajillion times. But that's probably wishful thinking. Then again, I am a hopeless romantis. Alright, I'm back at level 57, and we finally get good enough luck with Wrap that we're able to take down the Arbok. What I don't get good luck with is missing all of our moves. That's right, we seldom get past the Sandshrew without having our accuracy lowered by Sand Attack, which leads to situations like this where we miss multiple Poison Stings. I started getting really riled up, thinking we were gonna lose again, until Weedle finally uncrosses his bug eyes and lands the finishing blow. Well, you know, it's not even fair for me to be mad at this pitiful insect. It's fighting to the pest of its ability. With that finally out of the way, we can take on Giovanni, who is basically an improved version of the battle with Brock. And anytime I have to use the word improved to describe Giovanni, you know we're in the middle of a brutal challenge. Weedle can't even get past his lead Onix, who repeatedly spams Rock Throw for super effective damage. And I didn't think Giovanni had smart AI this early. But I guess he does because he only goes for Rock Throw here. Wow, I never thought I'd miss Brock. But then again, you know the saying goes, the grasshopper always looks greener on the other side. Well, since I can't beat Giovanni just yet, I head all the way back to Lavender Town to take another crack at the rival battle there. After all, we're at a much higher level than we were the last time. Actually, no we're not. We're only 2 levels higher. Oh wow, this really sucks. Well, it ain't much, but maybe it'll make all the difference. This time though, we take a Hydro Pump from Gyarados and a Confusion from Kadabra. So even with the extra levels, we end up having less health than last time. Oh well, let's see if we can beat this stupid idiot even with all this. And looks like it's gonna be close. And Weedle hangs on from Ember with just 3 HP. Thank the Lord. Oh man, I can't believe just how hard the middle part of this game has gotten. Seriously, I guess you could say the stakes have been raised. Or as I like to call it, anteed up. Okay, I'm back to the game corner for another crack at the Giovanni fight. Along the way, I clear out even more trainers to get our level up to 60. Not only does this give us more stats, but anytime your level ends in a 0, 3, 5, or 8, the damage calculation formula rounds up to let us deal slightly extra damage. With the combination of this, Weedle using the much stronger struggle, and Onyx missing multiple rock throws, we finally managed to knock out the Onyx. Rhyhorn actually goes down easier than expected, thanks to a critical hit, whatever, and we make it to the Kangaskhan with almost half of our health left. And dear lord, I sure hope that's enough. Weedle lands another critical hit, leaving both Pokemon low on health, and Kangaskhan throws the battle by going for Rage, which is not just a move, but also a feeling with which I am currently very, very familiar. Weedle finishes the battle with yet another critical hit, and normally I would say that that's bad manners, but I'm okay with Weedle showboating a little, considering how very, very little this bug actually has to be proud of. Oh god. I'm like legitimately angry. I'm feeling actual malice towards Giovanni. I've got a bone to pick with him. So next time, we'll be sure to settle the Scorpion. Well, now that I've beaten Giovanni and I've gotten the Silp Scope, whoop-de-friggin-do, I can go through the rest of Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town to get the Pokeflute. And I need the Pokeflute to wake up the Snorlax on the way to Fuchsia City, but not even the Pokeflute can wake me from the nightmare that is this challenge. Because getting past the few mandatory channelers in this tower was awful. I'm not even going to show me beating them. Not even going to show it. Instead, I'll show you, rather, what a typical battle looks like. And you can just fill in the blanks. It comes down to luck. And guess what? I'm all out of it. All out of it. All out of all the... What luck? What is luck? There is no luck. There is nothing. Nothing but pain. Can't wait for Agatha. That's going to be fun. Love it. Have fun. Feel free to try this for yourself. Find out just how painful it is. No. You guys say these challenges are easy. No. I hate you. I hate myself. I feel like such a creep. But by crawly means, feel free to try this run for yourself. With enough resets, I finish Pokemon Tower and make my way to Fuchsia City to take on the Poison-type gym leader Koga. Good lord, why is everything Poison-type in this game? Seriously, Weedle sucks against Poison and Ground types. Straight up, this battle, not possible. Not possible right now. Poison Sting does not do enough damage to his Pokemon, and we don't have enough health to win with Struggle, dealing so much recoil. Coughing loves to lower our accuracy with Smokescreen, which is bad because we miss our moves, but it does badge boost our attack and defense, which would be nice if we hit our moves. But when does anything ever go easily on this channel? Nope. This game is determined to make my blood boil, and believe me, it's working. After all, it's got me waking up on the wrong side of the bed bug. After giving up on Koga, I head back to Saffron City for yet another rival battle with Bubs, and this time it's in the Sylph Company building, which will be fun. Really fun. Oh, did I say fun? I meant seriously stupid. Yeah, his lead Pidgeot actually has a flying type move now, so it smashes us with a series of wing attacks while we struggle ourselves to the bone. I can't exactly run away from this battle. I have to either beat Koga or Bubs, and I can't do either, so I guess it's time to level up. I really can't think of another way to worm my way out of it. Alright, let's try this one more time. Oh, would you look at that? We're level 75, and no, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so check this out. I actually got super close on this attempt that I'm currently showing you. Pidgeot takes most of our health, and that's even without recoil, since I'm no longer using Struggle. But here's where things get crazy. Gyarados gives us 2 badge boosts with Leer, boosting our attack, which helps, but with our reduced defense, Gyarados is going to knock us out with Bite. Except, it lands a critical hit, which ignores the defense drops, letting us survive. Doesn't really matter though, since there's no way we're going to make it past the Alakazam. Unless we land a critical hit, knocking it into range for Bubs, to then use a potion. Okay, that's crazy, but seriously, there's no way we're going to knock out the Charizard until... No, actually we don't. No, it knocks us out. But man, that was incredibly close. Too bad that was one out of dozens of attempts, and I never even came that close ever again. Alright, time to go knock out more trainers, I guess. whatever. I've resigned myself to grinding. At this point, it's pollen a day's work. Alright, let's try this again! We're at level 85, a whole 20 levels higher than when we started this battle. And this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Seriously, I can't imagine that this challenge is actually possible if we're struggling this much with only 4 badges. Okay, we get past the Gyarados with a Leer badge boost and a lot of health thanks to a Hydro Pump miss and some retroactive potion action, and the gravy train keeps on rolling as Weedle lands a critical hit to one-shot the Alakazam. Fine, I'll take it, whatever. This is the most health that I've had going into the Charizard, so it better be enough. But, oh crap, looks like we're gonna be one Poison Sting short of victory. Until Weedle lands yet another critical hit. Oh, thank you. Oh, my Lanta, this thing is a crit machine. Whatever, I don't care. I'll take it. Get me the heck out of here. Oh, God. This stupid bug'll beetle end of me. After beating Bubs, I'm really worried about the battle with Giovanni, because he's got even better Pokemon than before and at a higher level. I still can't believe we're having this much trouble, even at level 85. Our attempts at Giovanni, and even with multiple Leers to badge boost our attack, our Poison Sting just doesn't do any damage to Pokemon that resist, like Nidorino, and Rhyhorn, and Nidoqueen. Well, thankfully, that's only 3/4 of Giovanni's team, he said with thinly veiled sarcasm. What am I supposed to do here? Level up more? No, I just can't. I can't level up more right now. I'll try Koga again before I go for any more levels. And then I'll come back later to this steaming pile of pupa. Now that we're at a much higher level than before, I think we should have enough health to fight Koga with struggle and not doink ourselves entirely with recoil. And holy cannoli, it is much faster fighting these poison types with struggle. And we even managed to 2-hit KO the very bulky Muck, so that's nice. But we're not left with much health left over to take on Koga's final Pokemon, Weezing, and we usually faint to its self-destruct. But even when Koga literally throws the battle by repeatedly spamming X-Attack, yet never attacking, we knock ourselves out to recoil! What a cruel tease! Come on! We finally managed to knock out all of Koga's Pokemon, but we still lose the battle. Or as I like to call it, grubbing salt in the wound. Alright, we need more health, so gotta level. And I'm so sick of this. This is such crap on a cracker. And it may not seem like much, oh, it's only 5 levels. But when you're this high of a level already, that requires a lot more experience than when you're at a lower level. So, making my way downtown, struggling fast, health bars passed, and I'm wheezing bound. After a bunch of resets, I get another attempt where Koga just spams X-Attack instead of using Self-Destruct, and this time, we managed to knock it out with struggle. But I'm not sure if we can survive the recoil. Oh, sweet Merlin's beard. We hang on with just 6 HP left. Oh, okay. I mean, I thought we could survive, but then again, nothing in life is pin certain. Okay, well, I can either go back to Giovanni or fight Blaine with fire types that Weedle's weak to. So I head to Cinnabar Island Gym to take on Blaine, the fire type gym leader, so we can get the Volcano badge to boost our special stat. Because quite frankly, I still don't think we can beat Giovanni. And even here, I don't think Poison Sting is going to do enough damage, so I try this battle with struggle instead. And it's actually doing a pretty good job, managing to 1-hit KO Growlithe, Ponyta, and even the Rapidash with a critical hit. But you can see that by the time we get to the Arcanine, we're not only doing insufficient damage, but we're also super low on health. And even if Fire Blast hadn't taken us down, we would have done it ourselves. We could fight with Poison Sting if we just had a little bit more attack, so it's a shame we don't have any way to manipulate badge boosts here. After all, that always thorax up more damage. Bah! I've resigned myself to leveling up yet again, but that's fine. I'm already so close to level 100, I might as well. Even so, struggle isn't doing much more damage, and furthermore, anytime Blaine decides to spam just a single super potion, we lose the battle. Super potions mean we get free hits, yeah, but it's even more recoil that we have to take by using struggle, so it's not really all that helpful. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? This just might be rock bottom. The Locust of the Low. Hey, how about level 98? Do we have what it takes to win now? No! Even at level 100, yeah, we're already there. Weedle is still struggling to take down the Arcanine, thanks in part to the fact that it keeps slamming us with Fire Blast. Oh yeah, also the part where Weedle sucks! After dozens of more tries, I get good luck with a Fire Spin miss from the Rapidash, and so I've got a good amount of health for the Arcanine. Our struggle does about half, and then Arcanine finally misses a Fire Blast. So we just need to survive the recoil from another struggle. Oh, thank God we got it. So glad that we had enough health left to survive. Because after all, struggle deals an Exoscale a ton of recoil. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure I could beat Sabrina, but yeah, I still gotta beat Giovanni. Alright, let's get back to it. So we're at level 100, which means there's no more room to grow. We just need to struggle with our Buggle and pray for the best. Weedle manages to make it past Giovanni's first 3 Pokemon while taking only recoil damage, and we even get our defense lowered by Rhyhorn for a badge boost to our attack stat. Still, we don't one-hit KO, and we would most certainly faint to a Body Slam, but Giovanni goes for one of his patented useless guard specs to give us the win, and I'm so happy. So happy. Oh, but, I mean, considering how little health we had left over, and the fact that we barely won this battle, I'm really concerned for the next battle with the Mafioso Bozo. Giovanni and me must be butterflies, because we're quickly becoming Monarch Nemesis. Alright, well now we have to take on the Psychic Gym Leader Sabrina at the Saffron City Gym. And Weedle is weak. Pause. To her Psychic type moves, so we really gotta hope that struggle is enough to win. Her Pokemon do have lower defense stats than most, but I don't have much faith regardless. Weedle, surprisingly though, can one-hit KO the Kadabra, and the Mr. Mime, and the Venomoth, but I know the Alakazam will survive and probably smash us with Psychic. Unless it gets critical hit. Man, Weedle might be weak, but I swear, this thing critical hits way more than I would expect. More like critical hit. Well, now it's time for the final showdown with Giovanni for a final badge, and oh boy, this is what I've been dreading. He's got more Pokemon and at higher levels than last time, so I just don't really know how we're gonna beat this battle. All of Giovanni's Pokemon resist Poison Sting, and we don't have enough HP to knock them all out using Struggle while surviving the recoil, especially with Rhydon having a surprisingly high HP stat. I tried this one over and over again, but I think this might be it. I think this might be the end of the run, because quite frankly, we just can't beat Giovanni with this Weedle. Wait a minute. This Weedle. That's it! I have an idea, and that means it ain't over till the fat ladybug sings. Okay, so if you look at the Weedle I've been using for this run, it's not very strong, but technically it could be stronger. For starters, this Weedle's DVs aren't perfect. DVs, by the way, are essentially a Pokemon's genetics in this game, and they're the mechanic partially responsible for Pokemon of the same species and level being able to have different stats. So, each stat has a DV varying from 0 to 15, and these are used in the formula that calculates the stat totals. Put simply, 0 gives the weakest stat, while 15 gives the strongest stat. Additionally, Pokemon stats are affected by what's called stat experience, which is something a Pokemon earns by knocking out other Pokemon. Stat experience increases your Pokemon stats in a way that means 2 Pokemon of the same species, level, and DVs, but different accumulated stat experience, will have different stats. Stat experience changes throughout the game as you knock out more Pokemon, but DVs are set from the moment you actually get the Pokemon. So, I say all this to say that if we were to have started out with a Weedle that had perfect DVs of 15 across the board, and were to continue knocking out Pokemon until we max out our stat experience, we could theoretically end up with a Weedle that is the strongest it could possibly be without straight up cheating. Okay, sorry for the diatribe. I don't really want to over-explain, but also, there's a lot to cover, so I don't want to be too vague. So, here's that theoretical Weedle. I play all these runs on an actual Pokemon Red cartridge, so I had to use a GameShark code to modify my Weedle's DVs to all be 15. Oh, by the way, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have zero interest in starting the whole game over, soft resetting until we get a quote-unquote perfect Weedle from Professor Oak, and then playing through the entire game again just to get back to the Vermilion City gym. Yeah, no. And if you're out there and you genuinely feel offended by the fact that I'm using a GameShark code to make this possible, touch grass. I don't know what to tell you. Seriously, this whole thing has been painful enough as it is, and I value my sanity over everything else. After all, you can't put a price tag beetle on happiness. God, clearly I'm tired because that joke was abysmal. Okay, so even with all of the extra stats for this new and improved Weedle, it's still truly a struggle bug. This hasn't really gotten much easier, and I'm not sure if this challenge is even possible, even with the perfect Weedle. If it is though, I'm sure that beating Giovanni with struggle is not the way. I figure we'll need struggle to finish off Giovanni's strongest Pokemon, but we won't have enough HP to survive recoil for his entire team. So, I deplete our string shot Pee-Pee and try to finish off Rhyhorn and Dugtrio with Poison Sting. And if I can time it perfectly, I can get to the Nidoqueen just as we run out of Pee-Pee and start using struggle. It would also be sick if the Rhyhorn decides to spam Tail Whip to badge boost our speed and attack. You know, the lower defense is dangerous since we need all the health we can get, but if you reset this battle enough, then eventually you can manage to get all 6 Tail Whips from the Rhyhorn without taking much damage. And even get a guard spec against the Dugtrio so that you manage to make it to the Nidoqueen with 6 badge boosts to attack and speed, and all of our health remaining. And so we're perfectly set up to sweep with struggle. I mean, if Weedle can't win now, then the run is literally over. Struggle manages to one-hit the Nidoqueen and the Nidoking, and the Rhydon can't actually damage us with its moves, so it's just a matter of having enough health left to survive the recoil. Oh, which we do, thank God. In fact, with 61 HP left over, I think we might have been able to knock out the Dugtrio with struggle and still win, since Dugtrio has really low HP. I don't know. Either way, I've never had to work so hard in my life just to beat Giovanni. Although, I did have to use a roided out Weedle, which I already know won't fly for some people, since you'd prefer Weedle to beat this challenge naturally. Before we can take on the Elite Four, we have to battle the rival Bubs once again, and I'm over it. I'm so over it. This Pidgeot can really hurt us with wing attacks, so I want to take it down as quickly as possible, but the only way to do that is to use struggle, which means we can't win the battle. As I'm showing you here, even with really good luck, we will knock ourselves out before we can even take down the Gyarados, and then Bub still has 2 more Pokemon after that. No, I think we're going to have to do what I did before with Giovanni, and play with my Pee-Pee so that we start struggling partway through the battle. I'm not exactly sure why I didn't take my own advice from earlier and just do that from the start, but then again, that's what I get for not listening. Okay. So I use an Ether on Weedle's Poison Sting so that we can hopefully reach deeper into the battle before we start using Struggle. I also start resetting the battle anytime Pidgeot uses Wing Attack instead of Agility. Agility is a psychic move, and so Bub's AI thinks it's super effective against our Poison-type Weedle. And I need to only see Agility so that we preserve as much health as possible. Gets worse though. Just like with the battle with Giovanni, I want the Rhyhorn to lower our defense with Tail Whip so that we can get badge boost to our attack, special, and speed to help make the rest of the battle easier. So anytime we get Tail Whipped and then Rhyhorn starts to actually go for Fury Attack, I usually have to reset. So, after, I don't know, a bajillion million gorillion resets, I managed to make it past the Rhyhorn after exactly 6 Tail Whips while we run out of Pee-Pee at the same time. Okay, I think this is our best chance to win, with honestly just short of a perfect setup, so let's see how it goes. The execute the Gyarados, and the Alakazam all go down in a single hit, but we've only got 69 points of health left for the Charizard. Unfortunately, not only does Charizard survive on what could only be a single point of health, but we knock ourselves out to recoil anyway, so... not good. Not good. Haha, no. Oh man, Weedle isn't the only one feeling faint. Must be something wrong with our nymph nodes? I use an additional ether on Poison Sting and keep resetting this battle until I manage to get back to the Charizard with all of our badge boosts again. And thankfully, Alakazam didn't crit its Psybeam, so we've got most of our health for the Charizard. Poison Sting is much weaker than Struggle, so I'm still kinda worried, plus it doesn't help when we land a critical hit, which ignores our badge boost to attack. It also doesn't help when Charizard critical hits a Flamethrower to ignore our badge boost to special and leave us very low. Poison Sting still doesn't take out Charizard and will probably faint to another Flamethrower, but Bubs uses a potion instead of attacking, letting us finally win the battle. Ask and you shall receive. After all, we needed a miracle, and this one was Heaven's Centipede. Sweet majestic biscuit bagels, that was a terrible pun. Alright, it's time to take on the Elite Four, and I've already shown you the stats before Giovanni, so let me just take this moment to tell you that I am not confident about this at all. I really have no idea on Earth how I'm supposed to make this work. But there's only one way to find out, and I'm just stupid enough to try. I'm sure we'll be okay. Wasp the worst that could happen. Whoa! Lorelei's up first, and you can see that I'm taking my sweet time going into this battle. Probably because I am thoroughly traumatized by this experience, and I'm not even done yet. Alright, let's just get into it, and yeah, right away I realize we've got ourselves a huge problem. Lorelei's AI is such that her lead Dugong will only ever use Rest against us because she thinks it's super effective. And this puts the user to sleep, heals any status condition, and then wakes them up 2 turns later. This means that if we can't 3-hit KO the Dugong, we're never going to knock it out. And I mean never, because opponents' Pokemon in this game have infinite BP, so she'll never stop using Rest. Eventually we'll start struggling, and we'll knock ourselves out. So, after a long time of intentionally depleting our String Shot PP, and with a timely Poison Sting critical hit, we managed to run out of PP while Dugong is low on health, and we just knock it out before it's able to use Rest again. We take a couple of Clamps and an Aurora Beam from the Cloyster, but we do knock it out with pretty low health left over, so not great. Slowbro will never actually attack us and instead repeatedly spam Amnesia, for the same reasons that Dugong was spamming Rest. And this means it's a free knockout. But you can't knock something out if you knock yourself out first. Oh no! Looks like Weedle is in need of a first aid kit. So, I'm not sure if this battle is actually possible, but I think that if it is, we're gonna have to get a ton of critical hit luck against the Dugong so that we retain some Poison Sting PP and then begin using Struggle later into the battle to help preserve our health. You know, that thing we keep doing. And I had to reset so many times that I eventually went into the wild and spammed String Shot until I didn't have any PP left, just so I wouldn't have to do it during each attempt. And then, after what felt like a bajillion resets, I managed to string together 3 consecutive Poison Sting critical hits to just barely take out the Dugong. I did the calculation later, by the way, and found out that it is not a guarantee to knock out the Dugong even with 3 critical hits. Cloyster comes out and whiffs a Supersonic, and then you can see me pausing because my heart is legitimately racing and my hands are shaking at this point. This might be my only chance to actually win this battle, and it's really out of my hands. There's nothing I can do but rely on luck. Unfortunately, I get confused and then trapped by Clamp, but thankfully, I got a poison before that, so even while we're trapped, Cloyster is still taking damage. It lands an Aurora Beam, and I'm literally praying that it doesn't lower our attack stat, which would require a reset. It doesn't though, and we knock out the Bivalve. Slowbro comes out, and like I said before, it's a free knockout, so it's just a matter of time before it goes down. We do actually get good super potion luck here, and I say that because we want to run out of poison stings right as we get to the Jinx so that we can knock it out with a much stronger struggle before it can put us to sleep with Lovely Kiss or, even worse, freeze us with Ice Punch, both of which would make me cry. We've got 4 poison stings left when we get to the Jinx, but it just misses a double slap, and then through a series of repeated super potions, we manage to knock it out right as we run out of BP, meaning we get to fight the Lapras at full strength with struggle. We land a critical hit for about half of its health, take a body slam and thankfully don't get paralyzed, and then even manage to crit again to take it down. And honestly, I can't believe it. I'm truly flabbergasted because I've never been so excited in my life to win a Pokemon battle, and it's not sad at all that it happened to me alone in my basement. And that's not because I don't have any friends. Shut up, who told you that? It's not true. It's not true. That's a filthy, bold-faced lime, and that ticks me off. With Lorelei defeated, it's time to take on Bruno. This isn't going to be a walk in the park like most Bruno battles. Before the battle, I restore Weedle's PP because I won't have enough HP to survive the recoil from struggling against his entire team. So instead, I need to poison his lead Onix and then hope that it locks itself into rage, at which point I can spam String Shot. That way, it will eventually faint from the poison damage without me having to boost the attack power of its very weak rage. And thank goodness Bruno doesn't have smart AI, because then he'd only be going for rock throws and we would take a lot more damage before knocking it out. Hitmonchan has terrible special, yet chooses to spam Thunder Punch, as opposed to Ice or Fire Punch, so thankfully we take neither significant damage nor get paralyzed. Although, Weedle does actually resist fighting, so Hitmonlee's fighting type attacks don't do too much damage. But I only have a few poison stings left, yet somehow I managed to poison the second Onix before we run out of them. Then it locks itself into rage, and we do the same thing as before, spamming String Shot to allow poison damage to take its toll without increasing the power of rage. I waste our last poison sting BP right before we get to the Machamp, and we've got 110 HP left to use for struggle. He uses an X defend, which doesn't really matter, and then a resisted submission, which doesn't do too much. However, it does enough that had he gone for another one instead of the useless focus energy, we might have knocked ourselves out to recoil. But as it stands, Bruno's just staring at Weedle and not doing anything, or as I like to call it, parasite-seeing. Now it's time for the Elite Four member Agatha, and here's where everything comes crumbling down. And why is this battle such a pain in the butt, you might ask? Well, I'll tell ya! Because Agatha has got multiple ghost types, we can't fight using Struggle. Because unlike in later games, Struggle isn't typeless, and instead is a normal type move. That means it can't hit ghost types at all. Hooray! So I have to fight with Poison Sting against a team of poison types, which all resist. Oh yeah, and the whole time her Pokemon are spamming Sleep and Confusion moves like Dream Eater, and Nightshade, by the way, does a ton of damage because of our low base HP. Plus, there's no way to badge boost in this battle, so it really is the worst, the absolute worst, and I hate to say it, but that's it. It is simply not possible to beat Agatha with just one Weedle. Even a perfect Weedle, even if her Pokemon spammed useless moves every single turn, or missed every single status move, or if we were to crit every single one of our Poison Stings, I don't think we could win. Plus, that insane and convoluted set of circumstances would never happen in my lifetime, so it's effectively impossible. Yet, we've come so far that I don't want to give up just yet. I gotta figure something else out, so I might get back to work. And I wonder, what about the rest of the Elite Four? Could Weedle win this challenge if not for Agatha? Well, I decided to find out the hard way. I used this game's version of the Pokemon duplication glitch to take our one Weedle and turn it into 6. The idea is that you save the game, then you deposit whatever Pokemon you want duplicated into the PC, and then you start to save the game again, but reset the console before the save completes, and then when you start up your game, you'll be placed at the point before you deposited the Pokemon into the PC, but the one you did deposit will still be in the PC. And that's right, I used this method repeatedly, and now we've got a team full of struggle bugs. The Weedle copies don't get their own names, by the way. After all, you don't name something that's a glorified meat shield. In fact, any swarm body will do. Okay, so now, with a team of 6 fully perfect Weedles, which is so statistically improbable that it would make the lottery blush, can we beat Agatha? Let's find out. We're still doing agonizingly low levels of damage with Poison Sting, but the upside is that anytime we get confused or put to sleep, we can just switch out into a different Weedle. The sleep will still be there, but the confusion goes away. Plus, this method greatly reduces the chance of one of our Weedles getting hit by Dream Eater and then healing the ghost back up from our hard-won Poison Sting damage. This is all great and whatnot, but even so, I still repeatedly lose this battle, often barely making it past her Haunter. This is one of the worst experiences of my life. Why did I decide to do this? Whose idea was this, and what am I doing with my life? I could have been a surgeon. Instead, I'm here, doing this. And for what? I have a wife. I have a family. Why? Why am I forsaking them for this bug? This disgusting creature that I wouldn't hesitate to stomp in real life. I would paint the sidewalks with the colors of your innards, Weedle. Why, Game Freak, would you make such an awful Pokemon? Why? What cruel cosmic joke is this? Am I insane? Am I in a simulation? Why would anyone put pineapple on a pizza? What does it have to do with anything? And what does this world come to? Oh, hey look, I won. Neat. Thank God that's over. The battle with Agatha was truly terrifying. Way scarier than any film by Alfred Hitchcock Roach. And that joke was for the birds. Next up is the final Elite Four member, Lance the Dragon Master, and despite having a team full of 6 Weedles, I'm going to continue to only fight using a single struggle bug. I still want to see if this would have been possible without the impediment that is Agatha's battle. Alright, Lance leads off with Gyarados that hits us with a Hyper Beam for a decent amount of damage, and Weedle's Poison Stings are, well, they're starting to rack up. And Gyarados uses Leer to lower our defense, but hey, at least it's a badge boost to attack and speed. Dragonair comes out and then infinitely spams agility because, you know, bad AI. And then I take the opportunity to get rid of Weedle's String Shot BP in the meantime. The second Dragonair does exactly the same nonsense, so we knock it out as well. And then there's the Aerodactyl, and I'm actually kinda scared. It can really hurt us with Hyper Beam, but I'm okay with him using Takedown as long as he doesn't crit, because at least he hurts himself with recoil. What I don't feel like dealing with are supersonic shenanigans. Okay, as long as we don't slap ourselves in confusion, I won't have to cry myself to sleep tonight. And thankfully we knock out the Aerodactyl, and with that, we've won the battle. Yeah, Lance does still have a Dragonite, but it does the same thing that the Dragonairs do and wastes time spamming Barrier and Agility, so we're free to knock it out at our leisure. And that's the best possible outcome. Or as I like to call it, and 10 out of 10. Finally, it's time to take on the champion, our rival Bubs. I will be so happy if Weedle can actually manage to win this one. Oh boy. Things start off weird. When Bubs' lead Pidgeot forgoes using Sky Attack or Wing Attack and instead uses Mirror Move repeatedly to copy our Poison Sting. I'm, I guess, fine with that. We resist Poison Sting and it's a lot better than taking one of those other 2 flying type moves. And that's a random selection too. There's an equal chance for him to use Mirror Move, Sky Attack, or Wing Attack. And by the time he charges a Sky Attack, it's too little too late and we knock it out. Alakazam is next, and it's the most dangerous of Bubs' Pokemon, since it has a very high chance to critical hit us with Psychic. I guess it could also just repeatedly spam Reflect to raise its defense. You know, and let us knock it out for free? Alright. Rhydon comes out next, and then we've got a long road ahead of us. This thing is so bulky, and it resists our Poison Sting. So even when we get poison damage ticking down for many turns, it takes forever to whittle down this rocky rhinoceros. And just when we're almost there, this jerk uses a full restore to heal it back to full health. And that's bad manners, my dude. Actually though, this ends up being a boon for us, since by the time we actually take down the Rhydon, it's given us many badge boosts by lowering our defense repeatedly with Tail Whip and Leer. Exeggutor is a 2-shot with our badge boosted Poison Sting, and we take no damage after it misses a Hypnosis. We 3-shot the Gyarados, but it does do 40 damage with Dragon Rage. But it looks like we're in the best shape I could hope for going into the Charizard. But then... oh crap, it's using Fire Spin. No, 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 not like this. No. Okay, at least it didn't critical hit, which would have made each turn a fire spin crit. And then, okay, he misses a second fire spin. All right, that's a free hit. Okay, it hits fire spin again, but it doesn't critical hit. And then fire spin releases us, and we take it down. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm so glad. So glad to be done with this. Good Lord, I'm getting legitimately mad at a video game. It's just a computer. It's just a series of beeps and boops. Why get mad? Why argue? It's pointless. Like trying to have a discussion with a scam texter. You know, a chat bot fly. And with that, the challenge is over. But technically speaking, you can't beat Pokemon Red using only one Weedle. But you can mostly beat Pokemon Red using only one Weedle. Heck, if not for Agatha, which is one single battle, it is in fact possible. But then again, why would you actually want to do this? I already did, so you don't have to. And if you've learned nothing else while watching these videos, please, I hope you learned to not try this one at home. Weedle belongs in the garbage, hanging out with all the other trash pandas. You know, the raccoons. As always, I want to thank you all for making it to the end of this video. These videos are normally a lot of fun, but today I want to walk into traffic, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can check out the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos if you want to see those as well. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. And if you want to have your name in the credits of these videos and to watch ad-free, consider becoming a member or by joining on Patreon. And let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. Next time, I'll be trying to beat Pokemon Red using only one Skeleton Kabutops. Yeah, you heard that right. Alright, until next time.